This year, we opened duck season in the Upper Peninsula, Drummond Island's Pottaganissing Bay. This estate land, a state marsh open to the public. We spent our evenings at the Domino's Lodge, the guest of Don Volchak, a vice president of Domino's who loves to hunt, especially hunt ducks. Don's wife is a Southern girl. Her name is Valeria. Everybody calls her V. And talk about a good sport. V seems to be at home in the marsh. Well, as much as any human being can be.
Now, you've hunted for how long?
About 6 years.
Is that since meeting Don?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don taught me to duck hunt. I had never duck hunted before.
Do you hunt other things than ducks? Or?
Well, I've only gotten one deer, but I grouse hunt with him. And I don't fish too much with him because I get seasick.
Well, why is it that you picked up these handy hunting sports?
Well, I'd never see my husband if I didn't. I didn't want to be a hunting widow, and I like the outdoors, and so I said, well, teach me. So other than getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, that's the only really bad part.
That's rough for anybody. Well, before you met him, did you have any interest at all in hunting?
I'd shot guns and things. My grandma, I had a farm, and I would go up there and stay with her in the summers, and I would go out with the guys, but not anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Did your dad hunt?
Nope.
Well,
Grandpa did. My grandpa did, but not my dad.
That's kind of unusual. Now, what did the other women that were your friends and people you worked with say when you started getting into hunting?
They think I'm crazy.
So what do you say to them?
They go, "You kill ducks?" I say, "Yeah, it doesn't bother me. We eat everything we shoot, so."
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty fun. I think it's pretty hard. I think the ducks personally have an advantage. I miss a lot more than I hit.
Take them,
Take them. Fetch it up, fetch it up, fetch it up.
All right. Successful.
Girl, Peach, fetch it up.
V proved to be a good shot, every bit as good as me. But Don had promised V that by noon we'd take a break and head back to the lodge.
You're a real straightforward woman. We can talk about the closing of this trip right here. The little discussion you had with your husband.
I always want to go in before he does. And he always starts making excuses. And he can drag it out at least an hour every time by making excuses. And so in the end, I end up just either going and getting the boat and threatening to leave him, or start picking up the decoys myself, and he can't hunt anymore because there's nothing out there to decoy.
But this is
I hit him with a weed or something.
But this is a recurring problem.
Oh, every time. But he would stay out here from daybreak till the sun went down.
Oh, Don's a diehard duck hunter, and when he hunts from daylight until dark. According to Jerry Martz, the DNR waterfowl specialist, dawn to dark hunting may be more common this season.
It appears that success was down a bit this year. I would say perhaps on the order of 20% or so on the larger managed areas and some of the larger marshes that we check. And it appears that a couple of things have happened. We had reports before the season that the duck numbers were really quite good. People were rather optimistic. And on some of the places like Maple River and Shiawassee, we had some sudden rains of rather extensive amount just before the season. Apparently it spread some of the birds out. Same was true over at Muskegon. And the results, particularly in wood ducks, were down a little bit more compared to what we had expected. So all in all, it appears that hunter numbers were about the same as last year, but the results on a per hunter basis are probably about 20% less than last year.
So you'd say partly due to the weather and partly due to more water around just spreading the ducks out?
Right. As you know, the weather was mild last year and this year for the opener, so the weather may not have been the major influence.
Well, that makes me feel better than that's what happened up on Drummond Island.
And you see some of those hunters were 1 year older, so they don't shoot as well, you see.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know a lot of the locals up on Drummond Island said that the high water, much higher than last year, seemed to spread the ducks out.
Yes, because like I say, the numbers, just talking with our field personnel and other hunters, the numbers of ducks appeared to be very good, and there were high expectations.
What about the non-managed areas, the potholes, the private lands, farm country?
They exhibited the same. It varied from place to place, but it exhibited about the same outcome. It appears that success was down this year. I know some of the local people I talked to in the Bath-Langsburg area didn't have as good a success as last year, and that was true of some other places as well.
Oh, that's bad news.
That is bad.
You hit me
That's
right where I
close to
live.
home, right?
Yeah, you hit me right where I live and breathe. I was planning on getting out there this week.
Well,
I have to work for the Ducks then.
That's right, and that's never really bad.
Now tell me about, just briefly about goose season.
Well, the goose season has been a little bit of a disappointment so far this year. The weather this fall has been very mild, as you know, and it does not appear as if geese have been migrating in the numbers that we experienced last year early in the season. Just as an example, I would say in the Shiawassee and Fish Point management zones, the harvest is down about a third to almost a half compared to last year. Of course, part of that is due to the one-bird bag limit. We're concerned about the poor production in the Tennessee Valley population. And at Fish Point right now, we have under 1,000 birds, and normally we'd have 3,000 to 4,000 present. So that may reflect some of this poor production.
This is the last week of the season. How is that going to stack up?
I would say it'd be very good. Last week of the season in the northern part of the state will be during the first week of November, and it's a period of very active migration, both of divers and puddlers. The last part of October, first part of November is usually very, very good.
Super. Thanks for the good news at the end here.
Okay, Fred. I'll be out there along with you and the other hunters.
Terrific.